Hey, what's up everybody? This is Mr. 008 here, and today I have for you a video concerning some early access to patch notes and balance changes for the next Bloons TD6 update. So we just got our daily reward right there. Let's go ahead and pick a map right here, like Frozen Over, that has both water and land to work with. And this is an interesting update, you guys, because every single tower has gotten at least one balance change, or will be getting at least one balance change, and no heroes are getting any changes. So let's go ahead and get into this. Just wanted to cut the video and turn off my air conditioner because it was, the noise it was making may have been distracting to some viewers. It does not bother me, but I don't want it to bother any of you either. So let's go ahead and get into these balance changes real quick. So just be aware that these changes are not live in the game yet, so they will not be reflected in the gameplay I'm showing you guys, but let's get into this anyway. So the first tower that's getting a change is the 000 Dart Monkey. Due to its immense power, Ninja Kiwi has decided to increase its price from $200 to $300. So it will cost almost as much as a Boomerang Monkey, but it should still be pretty strong for an average player to use. Especially because you do get that free Dart Monkey still from the Monkey Knowledge, as long as you don't select a Glue Gunner first, because you can get a free Glue Gunner if you so choose instead. Next up we have the Crossbow Master. So the Crossbow Master is a tower that is commonly used by certain casual players and all of that. It's just a cool, fun tower to use, but a lot of players that are really good at the game and try and find the most cost-effective options will not use this tower. So Ninja Kiwi has decided to buff the Crossbow Master to make it a little bit better for some expert players to use who want to use strictly towers that are the best for their costs. So the Crossbow Master is going to be increased in cost from $21,500 to $24,000. That said, it is getting a +1 damage buff and plus 20% attack speed. So while it will be harder to get initially, it will be stronger, sort of like that change that they gave the Spectre a while ago, when its cost was increased by a couple $1,000s, but it dealt double damage. Now, this tower isn't twice as powerful as it used to be, like the Spectre basically is, but still, it's a good change if you ask me. Next up, we have the Boomerang Monkey. So, the Boomerang Monkey is getting changed for the Turbocharge and the Permacharge. So there's a Monkey Knowledge upgrade in the game right now that makes it so that if you get that Monkey Knowledge, I believe my Monkey Knowledge is off right now, so let me go ahead and test this. Yeah, it does not work because my Monkey Knowledge is off. But the Monkey Knowledge point makes it so that while the ability is active, these two tower types can see and pop camo. Well, Ninja Kiwi has decided to rework that and make it instead so that if you don't have the Monkey Knowledge, they can still see camo while the ability is active. And if you have the Monkey Knowledge, they basically have super eyes, just like the Super Monkey with Ultra Vision. That way they can pop camo with or without the ability being active with the Monkey Knowledge. So that's a cool change as well. Next up, we have a couple of changes regarding the bomb shooter. So first of all, the missile launcher will be reworked, as will the succeeding upgrades along the same path. That way, when you get the missile launcher upgrade, the range will be increased not by that slight bit, but by a larger margin. So the range will basically go from, let's go ahead and get this as a demonstration. You upgrade from a 000 or a 010, and this is the range, to now just getting missile launcher without getting the primary mentoring or the extra range upgrade. It goes all the way from this to this. So that is going to be a really nice change, and it's going to make it so that that cross path is definitely the way you want to go. Also, Bloon Impact will now get back its ability to pop black and zebra balloons, which it does not have in the game currently, but it will get that back. So it will be stronger once again, like its BTD5 counterpart is, except this one does not shoot clusters, but it does have that 3 damage instead of 1, like Ninja Kiwi has balanced it out to be like in the versions leading up to this one and the next one that will be coming out soon. But still, it is going to be stronger once again, so that's nice. Next up, we have one change coming to the tack shooter. So the tack shooter is going to get a change in regards to the tack zone. So similarly to how the Archmage, once you upgrade to the Archmage, you automatically get a Dragon's Breath attack and a Shimmer attack. Once you upgrade to the tack zone, you will automatically get a Hot Shot attack, which makes the projectiles able to pop lead balloons once again, like they used to be able to, and a Blade Shooter upgrade, which will increase the Pierce by 3. So we're going from 2 damage and 2 Pierce and no lead popping power to 3 damage and 5 Pierce with the ability to pop lead. So the tack zone will be a very good tower once again. So that is nice to see. And on top of that, you will be able to increase its range or its attack speed as you would like with a cross path. So next up, we have 2 changes coming to the Ice Monkey. The first change is that when you get Permafrost, so the Permafrost upgrade will be increased to $200 in cost, but it will also be able to pop lead balloons, and Cold Snap will be strictly for camo detection. So it will be a little bit more expensive, but to balance that out, Cold Snap will be $300 instead of $350. So that's a nice little change right there. And the next change is that when you get Arctic Wind, just like in Bloons TD5, you will get a significant range increase from getting that tower. So instead of being like this, its default range will be like that, and you can buff it even further with the bottom cross path or something like a village. So that's cool to see. Next, we have one change coming to the Glue Gunner. It's a change that I have requested for a long time, and Ninja Kiwi is finally listening. You can now get, let's say, a Bloon Solver and a Super Glue Gunner, and the different types of glue, just like in Bloons TD Battles 2, will stack on the same balloon. If that balloon is a Moab class balloon, you can stack them. That way you can get the extra damage, the rapid damage over time, the corrosive effect of the Bloon Solver, while also getting a slower damage over time on top of that, as well as the 30 damage per shot from the super glue. So that is nice to see, and I am very happy about that, and I'll want to test that out as soon as it comes out. Next up, the Sniper Monkey is getting 2 changes. So the first change is that the Monkey Knowledge Point that makes it so that the Sniper Monkey deals extra damage to camo balloons will also buff the 2 first upgrades along the top path. So if you want to get something like an Elite Sniper or an Elite Defender and cross-path it with Full Metal Jacket and Large Caliber, you will get extra damage from that, not just against camo balloons, but against all balloons. So that means that Full Metal Jacket will deal 5 damage instead of 4, so it can one-shot pink balloons, and Large Caliber will be able to one-shot rainbow balloons at 8 damage. So that is cool to see. And there is also one more change, that being that the distance, once you get Bouncing Bullet, between balloons that so that you can bounce from balloon to balloon, the distance between balloons such that the projectile will still bounce can be double. So it will be better against spaced balloons, and you won't have to use it you won't be able to only use it against grouped balloons or balloons that are somewhat tightly packed. You will be able to use it better against spaced balloons, so that's cool to see as well. Next change is to the Monkey sub, specifically the Nautic Siege Core. So let's go ahead and get that tower right here, and I'm glad that we can get this in Sandbox, so thank you to Ninja Kiwi for making that change in the game a while back. So if we get this tower such that it submerges, its submerge attack will be substantially stronger. So right now it can pop Moabs and it one-shots the ceramics right there, but its submerge attack is going to be strong enough that it will be able to pop, let's say, fortified BFBs. And so let's test it now against these fortified BFBs, because I believe it's going to be like 4 times as powerful, I think is what the patch notes said. I don't have the patch notes right in front of me, but I believe it's going to be like 4 times as powerful. So these fortified BFBs are getting damaged, and the Moab layer does get popped right there. Okay, so fortified BFBs do get popped, but instead of getting popped when they're all the way over here, they'll get popped as soon as they loop to about right there. So that's going to be really nice. That way the submerge for this tower will be more balanced, so that's going to be nice to see. And additionally, the Final Strike ability will only have a 5-second cooldown, such that the sub cannot attack when you press the ability. So right here, when it says 15 and starts counting down, that'll be 5 instead, so it would attack right there when it now says 10. So that's going to be pretty nice to see. So let's go ahead and sell this and get on to the next tower. So we have one change for the Monkey Buccaneer, and that is that favored trades and above will now make it so that so when you get favored trades, it will count as 2 Merchantman stacks towards the Trade Empire instead of 1, like if you just get a 3rd tier. So when we get this, and we get a trade empire. Notice how it says 2 stacks right there, and then we get this and it says 2 stacks. So we upgrade this to favored trades. I almost said flavored trades from watching too much ISIB recently. But let's go ahead and get this. So it still says 2, but it would say times 3 after the update. And right there it would say times 4 after the update, because each of these fourth tiers will count as 2 third tiers towards stacking to the maximum of times 20. So it's a bit of a rework. It's not outright a buff, because that means if you go for 4th tiers, you can only have 10 stacked for the extra income. But it also means on maps with less water, you will still be able to make the most of the trade empire by getting 4th tiers instead of just 3rd tier merchantmen. So that is cool. Let me know what you guys think of that in the comments section down below. So next up, we have 2 changes to go over for the Monkey Ace. The first change is that the Flying Fortress is going to be increased in cost from $85,000 to $120,000. Now you may be thinking this is going to make this tower absolutely terrible, but you're wrong. Look at this round 100 fortified bed and how quickly the Flying Fortress pops it. And this is with no crosspath, guys. Look at this. So it's already down by 40% of its health, and normally you would only expect to see this amount of damage from something like a Super Mines or something, especially because we can buff this tower even further, and all of that, and we don't have camo detection, but just to convey that point right there, the Flying Fortress is crazy strong as it is, especially with the plus 10 Moab damage that it already has. So that is, it's not going to be as good as it is right now, but it's overpowered right now, so it needs some balancing anyway. And second is that Ninja Kiwi has decided to nerf Spy Plane. That way it will still pop camos, but it won't deal extra damage to camo balloons. They said that they want you to have to rely more on getting like a monkey village or something, or decamo from a sub or whatever, if you want to maximize your ability to pop the most balloons while still having camo detection. And to maximize popping power, you would obviously go for lots more darts if you're getting a Flying Fortress, or sharper darts if you're getting a Sky Shredder. So that's that. Next up, we have the Helipilot. So the support Chinook is pretty cheap right now, $9,500. So Ninja Kiwi decided to rework this tower a little bit. It's going to cost $12,000 instead of $9,500. And the special operations will stay the same cost, $30,000, that it is right now. So if you ask me, this is good for the 5th tier, but not so good for the 4th tier. They increased the price of the 4th tier, but they also made it so that the number of cash, or the amount of cash, or the number of lives, or rather the amount of cash and lives that you'll get, because I forgot they changed it so that you get both cash and lives from every crate, assuming you're not playing on like Impoppable or Chimps or something like that. The amount of cash and lives you'll get from each crate at both 4th tier and 5th tier will be 20% more than it is right now. So if we get this, $1,550, that's going to become $1,860. So over time, it will pay for itself, and you will make more than you're spending on the more expensive 4th tier. so that's cool to see. Next up, we have 2 changes for the Mortar Monkey. Right here for the biggest one. Actually, this involves both the big one and the biggest one. So the big one will now deal 1 less damage. So, Ninja Kiwi already nerfed it by making it no longer able to pop black and zebra balloons anymore, but they're nerfing it further so that it will not pop as many layers. It will only pop 4 layers instead of 5, I believe. So that's a little bit unfortunate to see. But in exchange, the number of layers popped by the biggest one is going up by, I believe, 20%. So let's see right here. I want to say that's 47 damage to the Moab each time, or each shot. Let's see. How much to a super ceramic? Yeah, that was a lot. I want to say it was close to 50, so that's going up to about 60. So that's going to be really nice to see as well. So that's the 2 changes for the Mortar Monkey. Next up, we have the Dartling Gunner. The Ray of Doom. Even though there was a faster swivel upgrade here, the Ray of Doom is going to be changed so that if you tap anywhere on the screen, so I'm going to place a Dart Monkey right there, and now I'll tap right there. So the Ray of Doom currently has that swivel so that it can't immediately turn over there. Now I'm going to tap on the Cave Monkey that's trapped in the ice. See how it doesn't turn right away? It's going to be instantaneous. You can tap anywhere on the map. The Ray of Doom instantly will shoot its Ray of Doom at that point on the map. And you will not have to worry about the swivel time or anything like that. Now, that does mean that faster swivel will be useless, right? Well, Ninja Kiwi decided to say that if you get the Ray of Doom, the faster swivel upgrade will in turn become faster attack speed. Now, it's only about 5% extra attack speed, but you will be able to get that little bit of increased attack speed and some extra pierce from powerful darts if you want, or you can get more increased attack speed and camo detection, but without the extra pierce, if you so choose. I still think that the middle cross path will be better though, and especially because you don't need faster swivel to get that instantaneous turning of the Dartling to attack wherever you are pointing at or wherever you are tapping on your screen. Next up, we have the Wizard Monkey. Didn't mean to place it there. So the Wizard Monkey is getting 2 changes here. So the first change is that the middle path, the fire-based attacks, are getting nerfed. So Fireball, Wall of Fire, Dragon's Breath, all that stuff. At least aside from Wall of Fire. I don't think it applies to Wall of Fire because that's not explosive in nature. But the Fireball is getting changed in a way that's not so good for this tower and for its strength. But, so actually I believe it's only the Fireball. So the Fireball is getting changed so that it will no longer attack either, or be able to pop rather, either black balloons because it's explosive or purple balloons because it's fire. So that is unfortunate there, but there are still plenty of other towers in the game that can pop those balloon types, such that you won't need to rely on wizards for that. And the second change is that the Prince of Darkness is getting a bit of a rework. So the Prince of Darkness will now cost 45,000 instead of 26,500. But its maximum graveyard capacity is being increased by 1,000, and whenever it goes above its current max for graveyard capacity, it will start spawning zombie ZOMGs, just like the Wizard Paragon does. Now, these zombie ZOMGs are not as powerful as those summoned by the Paragon, but they will still look really awesome, and they will still be stronger both damage and pierce-wise than their zombie BFB counterparts. So that's going to be pretty cool to see. And I wonder how Prince of Darkness players or users will feel about that. Next change is for the Super Monkey. So the Super Monkey is getting changed to resemble itself in Bloons TD5 a little better. So first of all, Sun Temple and above will automatically get camo detection. You do not need Ultra Vision or a village or anything like that to get them to pop camo balloons. So in exchange, Ultra Vision will be made to both grant camo detection and deal +2 damage to all camo balloons. So that's cool. And also, there can be only one Monkey Knowledge is being reworked. So you can now, once you get that Monkey Knowledge point, you can go ahead, let's pretend we got all the sacrifices for tier 4 that we need, and all the sacrifices for tier 5 that we need. We will be able to put our other tier 5s right there, get this, and so it will not absorb these anymore. That said, it will be an ability, so you will only be able to have the Vengeful True Sun God about half of the time. It's going to have a 1-minute cooldown, and it's going to last for 30 seconds. So you'll have the Vengeful True Sun God when the ability is active, but when it's on cooldown, it'll just be a normal True Sun God again. But again, these two towers will not be absorbed. You will still be required to place them to get that ability unlocked, but you will not have to have these towers combine into one with the temple. So overall, I don't like that change. I wish that that was not happening. And in fact, I wish that in Bloons TD5 and Bloons Monkey City, there was not a ability for the Temple of the Vengeful Monkey, that it was just permanent as soon as you got the 4th tier Super Monkey specialty building. And also in Bloons Monkey City, that the Dark Temple idol made it so that all of your temples were Temples of the Vengeful Monkey permanently, not by use of an ability. So that would match the Flash version in that regard. But, so yeah, not a change that I'm looking forward to, but I'm just relaying the information to you guys. Next, the Ninja Monkey is getting 2 changes. First of all, the Grandmaster Ninja, in some ways resembles the Crossbow Master, such as not having his face, in view that much, as well as wearing a lot of black and all of that. And popping camo balloons and all of that as well. So, in another way, the Grandmaster Ninja will resemble the Crossbow Master, and that's the ability to pop lead balloons. So when you get Grandmaster Ninja, this tower will pop leads without an MIB, without an alchemist or anything like that. So I really do like that change. And another change is that if you get the Grand Saboteur, that will count as 20 Shinobi stacks for all other Ninja Monkeys in range of it. So you will not have to spam down a bunch of Shinobis. It's just 20 Shinobi Ninja stacks right there. So you'll get a lot of extra damage, pierce, etc. on your other Ninja Monkeys. So that's pretty cool to see. Might be overpowered, but cool. The next change is in regards to the Alchemist. So the Alchemist, when you get the Bloon Master Alchemist, will now give you money. For all Moab class balloons, it pops. So if it pops something that isn't a Moab, like a ceramic balloon, it missed right there. But let's try this again. So right there, it loses you money, and it still will lose you money after the update, but only on ceramics and lower. When you pop a Moab with the BMA, you will get $500. Pop a BFB, you get $2,000. Pop a ZOMG, you get $8,000. If you pop a DDT, you will get $750 if you have camo detection. Otherwise, it won't pop the DDTs. But still, it's a pretty cool change, and I like that. I like the way this tower is going for balance and all of that, and should be a pretty popular tower after the update because of that change. Next up, we have the Druid. And the Druid is getting 2 changes right here. So the first change is that Pop Lust Druids will be able, similarly to Shinobi Ninjas, to buff themselves, not just other Druids. So that's going to be pretty cool to see. And the second change is that when you get a Spirit of the Forest, all other Druids in range of the Spirit of the Forest will be able to generate you money every round. So a Tier 0 Druid will give you $50, Tier 1 along any path is $100, Tier 2 $150, and so on and so forth until you get to $300 per round per Tier 5 Druid in range. It's not a ton of money, but it is still something, so I definitely like that as well. The next change is in regards to the banana farm. So the middle path is getting some changes at 4th and 5th tier. So the IMF loan will not only give you an ability and increase the maximum capacity of your bank, but it will also increase the rate at which money is generated. So the interest rate per round will be double that for the 4th tier as it is for the 3rd tier. And then the 5th tier will have a capacity in its bank of $25,000, and its interest rate will be triple what it is for the 3rd tier, or 1.5 times that of the new 4th tier. So that's going to be pretty nice as well, because I feel like middle path farms are not used enough. So I'm not sure why these acid pools are still here. I didn't know that about the BMA, that the acid pools last that long. But let's go ahead and clean up the track right there and move on to the next tower, the Spike Factory. So the Spike Factory is getting 2 changes. So the first change is regarding the spiked mines. So Ninja Kiwi said they want to make the spiked mines a better transitional upgrade between spiked balls and super mines. So they decided to increase the price from $9,500 to $14,000. That said, the pierce and damage on the explosion of each spiked mine will be increased by 50%, and also the production rate by default will be 15% faster than the 3rd tier, and you can further increase that by getting this. So instead of a 420 by default producing at a speed like this, it will look more like this even without the jungle drums. So that's going to be cool to see. And I like the way Ninja Kiwi is thinking about this tower. And the second change is regarding Permaspike. So Permaspike is going to be increased in cost from $30,000 to $40,000, but its spikes will now last 5 rounds instead of 3. So you can build up a significantly larger pile of spikes at the end of the track, for anything ranging from just a standard late game to chimps mode or anything like that. So you are going to be able to build up more spikes and all of that. The production rate, the pierce, the damage, they're all the same. So it can be risky when you first get it, but if you let it build up enough spikes, it will be better than it was before the update. So that's going to be pretty nice to see as well. And I think that's good thinking. That way you have to be more strategic about how you use this tower, but it is stronger if you use it right. The next change is in regards to the Monkey Village. So the Monkey Village will be changed so that when you get the Monkeyopolis, not only will you get it producing the money, not only will you get it producing like crates and all of that stuff, but every tower in its range, whether it generates money or not, will give you double what it normally generates. So if you get a Monkeyopolis and then you get a BRF in its range, for example, each of these crates is worth $300 with nothing like village-wise to buff it. Monkey Town still 300 because that only affects cash per pop. Monkey City 360, it's 20% more. You get a Monkeyopolis and then you get the farm back right there. Each round, instead of 360, those crates will be worth $600, twice the default amount for a BRF. And again, this tower does not have that much range, but still, it's going to be pretty nice. And if you put some powerful towers there, in this tower's range, like an anti-balloon or something like that, you will get double cash per pop as well. So there's a way to use double cash without actually using double cash. It's limited in its capacity, but it's still pretty nice to see. I'm going to cut the video here, and then I'll go over the last 2 towers, the Engineer and the Beast Handler. But I do need to take a break real quick because I forgot to get myself a bottle of water, and my throat is drying up, so I'll see you guys back here again shortly. Okay, so we are back, and let's go over the 2 balance changes for the Engineer Monkey that are coming soon right now. So the Engineer is going to have a change to the overclock upgrade. Similarly to what has already been done with the Ultra Boost, overclock will now have its ability changed so that whether you are buffing a tier 0 tower or a tier 5 tower or anything in between, the ability will now last for 100% of the cooldown. That way, when it expires, you can just use it right on the same tower again. So, however many towers you want to buff will be the number of overclocks you need to get for that full uptime on each tower, to just make the game a little bit simpler, but also to make the overclock better on higher tier towers. Next, we have the XXXL trap right there. So, the XXXL trap will be different in regards to its deployment speed as well as its capacity. So, once a trap gets used up and you want to deploy another trap, you will need to wait 20% longer for that to happen. And that does mean that you will need to that does mean that you will not be able to drop these traps as often as you would without this change. So that next trap, it gets put down pretty much right away, so it's going to be a little slower. But the capacity of each trap is now 50% higher, and because as long as it has some space left, it's going to eat up the next bloom. That does mean that in some cases it's technically twice as good, because you will now be able to have each trap eat 2 ZOMGs instead of just 1. So this is especially going to be good in the late game. So I like that change, but we'll have to see if it becomes overpowered because of it, because that may very well happen. And next up we have the Beast Handler. One change is coming to this tower, and that change for the Beast Handler is that all of the tier 5s will now require not 4 but 5 of the tier 4 beast to already be merged in. So right there it says requires beast 1 out of 4. Instead it's going to say 1 out of 5. But in exchange for that, these tier 5 towers, regardless of their beast power level, will scale up by about 25% in terms of power. So they will be more expensive, but by an equal margin they will be stronger as well. So I do like the sound of that. Oh, and one other change. I know I said no hero changes at the beginning, but Benjamin is getting a change. So let's set the round to 1 right here. Just get something like a permacharge at the beginning of the track. And when the round ends, let's see. So I didn't see Benjamin generate any money there, but maybe that's a bug because of sandbox mode. But at level 1, he normally generates $100 at the end of every round. But that is being changed, so now at level 1 he will generate $500 at the end of each round. But there is a catch. That $500 will only be generated at the end of each round while he is level 1. As soon as he levels up to level 2, goes right down to $150. And then you have to get him upgraded further. Level 8, $250. Level 11, $300, and so on and so forth. You need to get him to level 15 for the $500 per round to come back. And then level 17 for more money per round. So that is something that is unexpected, let's say. But I'm pretty sure that by the time the next update comes around, you will find that the actual changes implemented are also pretty much unexpected relative to what you heard in this video. So that's going to wrap it up for today's video, you guys. Thank you all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more interesting content. Parts 2 and 3 of my 3,000 subscriber special will be coming soon. Happy April Fool's Day, everyone. And once again, I'll talk to you all in the next video. Peace out.